What's up everyone? Welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today I have a very special review for you guys. I wanted to make this review for quite some time, but I wanted to take time to... Well, I already took the device that I'm reviewing out in the field. And if you guys have been subscribed to my channel, you know how much I love this thing. Yes, this is Garmin Foretrex 601. And if you have been subscribed to this channel and you watch my previous videos, you know that I just recently did a big trip to Colorado, RMNP, Rocky Mountains National Park. Really bad with abbreviations. And I had this GPS with me, and now it's, I would say, definitely in my top 5 hiking, camping, survival gear. I would not go anywhere without this thing. So I wanted to take a little bit of time and kind of do a little bit more research, because I know some main functions that I would use this device for, but I also wanted to kind of learn a little bit more, because there are a few things that you will have to adjust to with this GPS. But trust me, this is an absolute must-have if you're doing any kind of hiking, any kind of outdoor adventures, expeditions, or if you are a prepper, if you are a survivalist. This is a must-have device. So I'm gonna start with a few functions that are my go-to functions, why I have this, and then we will go a little bit into details and see what other features are out there. Unfortunately, there is not a lot of reviews on YouTube for this GPS, which is weird, because I wanted to do some research beforehand, before buying this, but I found one video which was pretty good. Guy with British accent, law enforcement, and he just goes into the features, all the screens that are out there. I'm not gonna do it in this video. I'll just stick to the things that you will use this in the field for, and why this will help you to survive, why this will help you get your hiking game up. I mean, up a mile, especially if you're like me, person that just, you know, blessed in a lot of ways. Thank you, Heavenly Father. But whenever it comes to internal GPS, I mean, I'm gonna get to the junction and I'll be like, okay, so this is the tree, this is left, this is right, no wait a second, this is right, this is left. My brain for some reason cannot distinguish, and I'll be like, okay, this is the way where I need to go on my way back. And then I'll come back and I'll be like, yes, this is a tree, yes, okay, so this is the way that I should be going. And it will be a wrong way, just because. I don't know why. So, function number 1. Let's start this review in this Foretrex 601. So we got a few buttons on the bottom. I mean, it's very primitive, okay? So one of the things that you will notice about this thing is super primitive. There's only like a few buttons at the bottom. You have your power button, which serves as a few things we will talk about later, like switching, turning on the light and all that sort of stuff. There is a up and down arrows, there is a mark enter button, and the go to page. Okay, we'll talk about the buttons and whatever later. Honestly, it's not that much important. Important things are a few features of GPS, and the very first one is that, as you can see, this is right now on the GPS screen, which you can switch between the screens. But on this screen, if I start walking right now, you see there's nothing, there's no track. If I start walking right now, what it will do, it will record my tracks. And that is an unbelievably important feature to have whenever you're doing any kind of hiking, any kind of outdoor activities, especially if you are out in the unknown. And I mean, if you're a prepper, if you're a survivalist, do your own, you know, how important that can be, because it means that from whatever starting point that you're starting from, you can go out anywhere and just, I mean, doesn't matter the junctions, doesn't matter where you're at, the trails, whatever, it doesn't matter. You will always be able to come back, because you have that track that is recorded by this GPS right here, which is absolutely a fantastic feature. I'll show you a few other screens when you're actually on the move. So when you're on the move, you can switch between the screens, and this is your second screen. And in order to switch between the screens, all you're doing is you're pressing the go to and page button, and it switches the page. So as you can see, you have your compass, you have the speed, how fast you're going, and it's I mean, in my experience, it's been really accurate so far. So if I'm walking at a steady pace of about, you know, 1.5 to 2 miles per hour, if there's elevation involved, then you're a bit slower. If it's flat, obviously you will be a little faster. Downhill, you will be even more faster. You can probably hike as, you know, 3.5, 4 miles, maybe not 4 miles, so 3.5, 3 miles per hour. And this has been really, I mean, really accurate, very good. And also, if you do have the GPS set, which we will talk about the endpoints, destinations, and the waypoints, not the endpoint being the destination that you set. We will talk about that later. But if you do have that, and you can see it in my video in RMNP, my adventure trip to the Shark Tooth, it shows up here in this corner how much you have left bird view to your destination. I mean, how amazing is that? So you know how far you are, and you know it shows up with an arrow on the compass here, and it tells you which way you should be going and how far bird view. Keep in mind, it's important to distinguish between the bird view and the actual path, because if you have bird view, straight line to the destination, a mile, and then the trail is, you know, the trail can be 2-3 miles. So, but at least you know how far you are from the object that you're going to, your destination, bird view, and also you always can tell if you're going in the right direction or not. Alright, so you already see how much value there is in this thing. But moving further, we have elevation, and again, it has been, in my experience, very accurate. I mean, just unbelievably accurate, and I could really test it out on my previous trip because I had about 3,000 to 4,000 feet of elevation gain on my previous hike. It was a 20-mile hike in Rocky Mountains National Park, 10 miles one way, and the total hike, it was about 10 hours, and then I spent obviously doing other stuff, climbing, whatever. But if you haven't seen the video, check it out, because there I'm like, you can see me falling in love with this more and more. Okay, so then we have this big screen which just shows you speed, which is great if you are, you know, doing whatever you're doing, I don't know. And then we have our screen where we are able to save the waypoints, save the tracks, and do a whole sort of other stuff, like, you know, the settings, the routes, and all that sort of stuff. I'm not gonna get too much into this because I think it's good stuff and it's important and you might find use for it, but I wanted to show you in this video just a few functions why this is a go-to for a lot of military units. Yes, this is if you are familiar with this device, chances are you're familiar with it because of the previous model, Foretrex 401, which is heavily used by a lot of military units. United States Army, they use them quite a lot, Rangers. I believe some Marine units, they use Foretrex 401. It's just a great little rugged device. And yes, it is very rugged. It's built like a tank. You can drop it, you can throw it in the water, you can throw it in the dirt, and it will still be running without any problems. Another thing that I wanted to mention about the external things, you're just getting the Velcro bracelet. Very simplistic, nothing crazy. But another very nice thing about this is that you have 2 AAA batteries that power this device, which means that if you run out of the battery, as long as you have some backup AAAs, no problem. You just replace it and you keep going. And yep, as you can see, check this out. If you have connected this to the phone, it will give you notifications on this as well, which is, thank you for reminding me, GPS, I appreciate it. I would have forgotten to mention that, which is pretty cool. I mean, not a big deal, but nice to have, you know, notifications. Why not? Okay, so let's talk about the functions. One of the things that will help you survive is that it records your tracks, so you will be able to come back. Number 2 thing is the waypoints. So waypoints, what is the waypoint? Let's say you are walking, hiking, and you saw me, you know, I'm putting the videos from my trip, from my hike in Colorado. There were so many junctions on that hike, it was unreal. It was probably at least 15 junctions that I passed through on my way to my destination. With my GPS, internal GPS abilities, you know, I can get lost on just one. And I was lost on, you know, where there was like 1 or 2 junctions. I was lost in places like this. Yeah, I'm going through there as well. This sign says up that way. And my GPS is showing up that way too.
The Sprague Lake?
Yeah.
The sign at the top of the hill pointed down here to Sprague Lake. But...
And for the glacier too, it pointed this way, but then this sign says there. Huh. So with 15 junctions, and I have not uploaded everything yet, but you will see once I do, I was coming back in the middle of night. I mean, it was just darkness. And I didn't worry about me getting lost. Why? Because I had the tracks. And number 2 thing is that you can set the waypoint. You go to the page, Waypoints, press enter, and here you can create the waypoint. And what that does is it basically tells you, okay, so this is the waypoint where I need to come back. So anywhere you are, even if you have this off, once you have that waypoint saved in there, you can always go to it, press on it, tell it to navigate you to the waypoint, and you can always come back to that. And here already, let's talk about that a little bit. You probably noticed this coordinates here, and this is MGRS, which is military grade system. I'm terrible with abbreviations, which is what basically military uses in order to kind of like, you know, we longitude, altitude, and longitude, whatever, which was really hard for me to understand. This is actually pretty simple. I think this is much easier to kind of get used to. If you learn how to convert your coordinates to MGRS system, you will understand it pretty quickly. Trust me, I never was in the military, and it took me about, you know, a few hours to sit down and kind of learn about this specific military system, and it's really good. It's very accurate. Basically, the more digits there are in a number, the more accurate it becomes, and it's up to 100 meters within that, you know, square, 10 meters, 1 meter, right, with each digit. Again, I'm not gonna get too much into it. Maybe I'll make a separate video once I learn a little bit more and kind of get used to it a little bit more. But once you learn MGRS, it's gonna be a game changer. It is really good. So now we're talking about MGRS. Let's get to the number 3 thing why this is an absolute must-have for your survival game. You can set, you don't have to be in specific destination, all right, in order to save the waypoint there. You can save that waypoint from, you know, sitting in your office. For example, I'm sitting here right now, you know, in Florida, and let's say I have my safe house. Okay, I don't have a safe house. I wish. But let's say I have a safe house in Tennessee. That's like my other house, my destination. Let's say it's a vacation home. But let's say something bad happens, all right? And we all know, if you've been subscribed to this channel, you know there's always something bad happening, okay? And now you're surviving. You have no map, you have no phone, the phones are down, that's it. And you have to get out of Florida, and you have to get to the Tennessee to your safe house, all right? This is a survival adventure for you, okay? It sounds fun now, but when you're actually in the situation, it's pretty scary, all right? Because, well, do you know if you have to drive or if you have to walk? Do you know which way to go? And I mean, okay, Florida, Tennessee, it might be simple. You're just going out. That's it for the most part. But let's say you don't have a GPS, you don't have a map. The only thing that you have is this. And really, that's all you need. Because on this, you can set a custom waypoint, save them all. So let's say you save your safe house here, and you can custom call it safe house. You can save your friends' houses. You can save, I don't know, some whatever location anywhere in the world that you might think in the survival situation you might need to travel to. You can pre-save it here using MGRS system. Again, all you need to do is to learn how to convert for example, the address of my house, how to convert it to MGRS. You save it here using the coordinates, and that's it. And all of them saved in this little device means that anytime, anywhere you are, anything bad happens, you have no phone, you have no map, you can always get to whatever you saved in this device, which I think is absolutely fantastic feature. Okay, so I'm gonna try to wrap this review up because it's getting pretty long, and I mean I can talk about this for a very long time. And you see, I only mentioned like a few features of this, and there's plenty more. I mean, this, you look at it and you think, I don't know, do I really need that? Trust me, I will not do another hike, another adventure, another anything without this. This is definitely in my top 5 go-to survival gear, camping, hiking, adventure, whatever it is. Okay, so a few things. At night, if you do need to use it at night, just press the power button. You can definitely do that. This is night vision mode, goggles compatible. So if you are using night vision, again, which is very important for the military, you can definitely activate that and use that. And I will show you how to do that. All you're doing it is you're pressing the power button, holding it, and then, as you can see, enable night vision mode, which basically makes it visible through the night vision goggles, which can be very useful if you are, if you're in the military, if you're out in the field. Another thing that you can do here is you can enter the watch mode if you don't want to waste the battery, because if you have this on, obviously you're using more battery compared to if you're in the GPS mode compared to just watch mode. And the watch mode, it looks just like that, your military time, 1332. Yep, that's the correct time. And in order to get out of that, same thing, exit watch mode, you hold and press power button, and then you exit out of the watch mode. One more thing that I wanted to show you is a battery. You probably are wondering how long does those two AAA batteries last. As you can see right now, I'm almost at the half, not on the half. Yeah, I'm 75%, about 75% of battery still left. And that is after me traveling for at least total, I mean, I had this thing on for at least 12 hours on my RMNP adventure hike climb. I had this on throughout the whole thing. I did not turn it off. And yeah, still 75%. So that means 40 plus hours easily in the GPS mode on 2 AAAs. So if you're planning the trip, that's it, keep in mind. I'm gonna make more videos, guys. If you have any questions about this thing, I mean, you probably do, because there's plenty of other features that I didn't mention, but I wanted to mention these core features, 3 things: waypoints, tracks, and also ability to set destination anywhere in the world, because MGRS, it's a great system for the whole world, and you can make the coordinates as precise as 1 meter square. Just you there, like you can't miss it. So you can be very precise with the MGRS system. But if you do have any questions regarding this device, drop them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them. I've put the link for this for Amazon in the description below. $199. I mean, I recommend you guys just get it now. Don't even think about it. If you are doing any kind of hiking, any kind of camping, or if you are, chances are, if you're subscribed to this channel, if you're watching this video, you probably are thinking about survival, thinking about prepping. Must have. So, thank you very much, guys, for watching. I'm sorry it came out a little bit long, but this is probably one of the best investments in the gear that I made, so I really wanted to share with you guys. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. This was Ultimate Survival Gear. I'll see you guys in the next video.